From an early age, I could see that there is a state of uncertainty in between the things we have to do through necessity and the unexpected, accidental, and the random that happens to us along the way, and that all life, human and non-human, has to be prepared to adapt and change in order to survive. Over time, my work has evolved as an inquiry which sets out to explore this idea. In a space in which something could happen, could the experience of uncertainty become felt, personal, and therefore meaningful? I'm interested in how the work affects the viewer and how meaning emerges from this. The political theorist Brian Masumi states that to affect and to be affected is to be open to the world and change, and it is this conceivable change, he argues, that makes affect immediately proto-political. Work is typically transient. It manifests as fragility, futility, precarity, and transformation on the point of collapse installations, constructions, and performance. I want to produce encounters in which the viewer is required to amend their behaviour or movements in some way. Sensing is a process, and it is important that the work is a felt experience as well as a cognitive, visual, or audio one. Moving image, text and sound develop through the ongoing process of documentation. This helps me pay closer attention to the work itself. It helps me to think and rethink certain imagined and lingering aspects of the work. And, if I'm lucky, this leads to new meanings and new insights into what I'm doing. I realise that across all the disciplines and processes I use, I am assembling and mark-making with found materials. I see this broadly as expanded drawing. My practice, though, is research. In every sense, I'm using the creative process and scholarship from across humanities, science and art to engage with the ongoing debate about humankind's existence and future. I realise that I'm trying to make sense of the world in this way. As on the point of collapse events and assemblages, these works rely on the cooperation of all their parts, including viewers' amended behaviour. Every element and material has a role to play in the work's function and existence, and in this way community emerges from the assemblage of human and non-human. In their new and unexpected roles and relationships, material differences are revealed. Together, they share an unknown future. I see this as a reflection of today's historical moment in which all matter, now discovered, mapped and commodified, is united. In my work and practice, I am aiming for cooperation, a mutuality and inclusivity in the broadest sense. I am proposing this as a practical tactic for survival and a proposition for a better, not quite familiar future. I want to acknowledge the land we stand on and present the world as it is, while at the same time embody an aesthetic which speaks of today's uncertain political and ecological moment. In very small ways, I am exploring tactics for survival and wondering how to prepare for the not known and for the accidental futures that go far beyond a human lifetime.